Conference expansion's been happening. We're going to do an awesome show today. We're going to pick our ideal college football, basketball, athletic conferences. So three teams, three college commissioners, and we're going to do a snake draft. Who's the best? Who's the last? I'm going to let you all decide when we're done. All that and more on today's Locked On Badgers.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Ryan Herrings, your host of Locked On Badgers. Thank you for making this one of your first listens every day. And this is a show I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm excited to do it. We're going to bring on Justin and Mike, add them into the show. And what we're going to do is we're going to draft athletic departments, basically. Football, basketball, however you want to. The rules are whoever you want to value an athletic department. We're going to build our ideal college conferences. We're going to do a snake draft. We did a randomizer. Mike, you're going first. Justin, you're going second. Or no, I'm going second. Justin, you're going third. And we're just going to see, we'll let the listeners, people on YouTube, Twitter decide who has the best conference, who built the best conference. And you can use whatever criteria you want. TV markets, football, basketball, academics, location. And we're going to see who comes out on top. I'm also going to share the screen for those on YouTube. So you should be able to see the draft board as it happens. We're going to share that right now. And I think we're ready to go. You guys understand the rules? Ready to rock and roll on this?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. Mike, you are actually up first. So why don't you kick off the draft and we'll go from there.
All right, yeah, and thanks again for having me on. And with the first pick, I'm actually going to go with USC in LA.
Yeah.
Bold.
Would have been that's actually it gets him into the LA market.
Yeah, it's the only team on the West Coast that really matters. I mean, look how good Oregon's been these last few years. And still the Big Ten goes for USC and even UCLA. Like, It just goes to show the power of that brand. You get the basketball, you get the football, all the talent is there. And they're a private school, which every conference needs a private school to kind of keep things under wraps from a public information request.
So fight on.
That can be a West Coast, Northwestern.
Yeah,
exactly. That's it.
That's a bold pick, right? The very best in the country. You're going USC to kick it off. I got the second pick. I'm going to go Texas. I would have gone USC number 2. I'm going to get the athletic department that makes the most revenue in the entire country. Texas, great football program. Gets me in the heart of Texas. Obviously, great recruiting area. It's going to get me into Dallas. A lot of markets there. So I'm going to go Longhorns. I would have gone USC. That was actually my preference to get into the LA market, though. So we're going to go Texas there.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Alabama.
Yeah.
And I'm going to swing it back with Ohio State.
Yeah. Alabama and Ohio State. Ohio State's a great pick. Alabama obviously has the football history. Anybody else you would just were up in the air with there, Justin?
It's tough because these are two prestige teams that it's not necessarily a market play. Although Ohio State does have a fairly decent market in the Cleveland, Cincinnati area. So you're going to be pulling in the Ohio or Midwest crowd with them. It's not as big as what you'd like. Chicago, unfortunately, is a tough city to really look at from that. I guess you'd say Notre Dame has Chicago, but I think Ohio State kind of has a little bit of that too, just because they're the most prestigious team in the area.
I can't believe y'all let me do this. Give me Notre Dame. I can't believe y'all let me go. I can't believe y'all let me go Texas, Notre Dame.
I'm actually kind of shocked that you want them this early, but okay.
Me too. They were pretty low for me.
No, I am building a power conference. I want the most money. I've locked up a flagship program in the middle of the country, a great football history, great academics.
Because I'm seeing two teams that are probably going to be outside of the playoff.
Listen, some of this is about money, right? Some of this is about money and influence. And if I can get Texas and Notre Dame, I feel like I've locked up Chicago, to your point, one of the biggest markets in the country. I've got Texas. Whoever else goes in Texas, I already have a stranglehold on the richest talent state in the country.
True.
So
at some point, you actually need your teams to be good, though.
That's coming later. That's coming later. Right now, I'm going for markets, pedigree. And by the way, Notre Dame's probably going to be pretty good this year. So conference Herrings is looking pretty strong.
All right.
Mike, where are you going on your flips?
All right. So for my next two, I'm going Florida and Georgia.
Yeah.
Give me the cocktail party mixed in. You get Florida, which pretty much owns Jacksonville, Tampa, and Orlando markets. And then Georgia owns Atlanta market. You got the two biggest areas of the South with the best talent produced. I want to be able to recruit in those areas and have my conference dominate those.
Yeah, so Mike's going USC and then Florida, then Georgia. All incredibly strong picks. Great recruiting areas too. Like you're really locking up California and you're really locking up that Southeast area. That's I was good. I was hoping Georgia would get back to me on the flip. I'm gonna go. Give me LSU. LSU wasn't as high on my board, but I'm gonna take New Orleans. I'm gonna take another really good recruiting area. I have to get something in the South, so I'm gonna go Texas, Notre Dame. I'm gonna follow that up with LSU. I really wanted Georgia to fall to me. I think that's a great pick.
I was debating what you guys were gonna take because Georgia was on there, but I had Ohio State higher over the kind of range of the geographical.
No, I would have taken Ohio State over Georgia as well. I think
agreed.
That's good.
I will take Clemson next.
Ooh.
Listen, I'm going for grabbing the big prestige teams that I know can recruit, that I know will continue to be good. Now, the biggest thing you could say is that my teams may cannibalize themselves because it's pretty clear that my conference is going to be very top heavy. You know what? I'll make a play for market here, and I'm going to go ahead and go wild card and say, oh man, never mind. I'm going to go Oregon.
Whoa, that's a curveball for me. Okay,
it is. They're the team that I was thinking about choosing. I'm like, it's just too early.
Okay, are you concerned at all that your conference isn't? So right now, Justin, for those listening on podcasts, right, he's gone Alabama, Ohio State. All right, actually went, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Oregon. Are you concerned at all that you're not grabbing a big enough TV market here? Because we've seen that as a driver for conferences.
I actually am not. And the reason I say that is because there's been a lot of science behind it saying that what they do now is they're focused more on matchups in terms of what they look at in terms of money to drive it. And I think that that's kind of where we're going to be because it's not driven by cable anymore. Because with cord cutting and everything, it's becoming far less focused on geographic areas and more on matchups. So from that standpoint, I feel comfortable with it. Now, do I feel like the biggest knock I can say there is that I don't necessarily trust Oregon to be a powerhouse for the next 20 years. The first three teams on there, I feel like the groundwork is being laid. Now, you can argue Clemson may drop because
once Dabo dies, you never know.
He's not that old, first off. True. Second off, the fact is that Clemson, although was not a power before, they were not a bad team. They were just more the 8-5, 9-3 type team before they made it to the Dabo Sweeney years. So you can make the argument, I kind of have a little bit of the lower East Coast with them. They're the premier program on the East Coast. So them and Georgia.
And they do have a championship before Dabo, so it's not like fair. They were nobody.
That's fair. Yeah, it's an interesting.
And they have college baseball, which clearly is a driver.
Yeah, if that's driving your conference, bro, you're gonna be fired in 3 years. I will say on Conference Herring's secret board, Oregon was pretty far down the list, so that would be a reach according to my metrics here.
It is. I'm not going to argue that if we're going based off of market share and everything else. They're further down, but I'm looking at this from a strength of overall conference in terms of programs.
Certainly the money's there, right? And that's a big deal. Let's finish up this round 5, then we got to take a quick break. I'm gonna go next. I want to grab a piece of the Big Ten. Currently, I'm gonna get Michigan. I'm gonna throw Michigan into my conference, and really, it wasn't intended to be this way, but I am grabbing all sorts of power conferences right down the middle of the country. From the south middle to the north middle. So maybe that's where my conference ends up going. But give me Michigan, go blue. Let's get it.
I almost took them.
Yeah.
I didn't
give me the blue blood.
I'm like, I have Ohio State. I don't need two teams that are right.
No, I will say this, Justin. To your point, I look at my teams and I don't trust any of them to really win 9 games.
By the way, it's GAN.
Dude, what do I got? Oh, who did I put? Oh,
Michigan.
Listen, Michigan. Listen, I am multi-triple tasking here. So for those on the podcast, I'm misspelling Michigan, but I'm going to give Michigan. Mike, let's give your first pick or the last pick of round 5 here, and then we're going to take a quick break.
All right, sounds good. I'll make this quick then. I'm going to go with Oklahoma to give me some of that kind of plains, western or southwestern area.
All right, coming up, we're going to get into round 6. Mike's got another pick. So far, Conference Herrings, in my opinion, is looking pretty darn strong. We're going to continue this, figure out who's going to lead the way. But first, today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn, as you know, so we're gearing up for fall. You need the right job or the right people to help you find the right people. You need the right people to help your small business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn. Help reach your network and go beyond to the world's largest professional network, over 810 million people. Simple tools, screening questions. It makes it very easy to focus on the candidates with the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview, who you'd like to hire. And it's why small businesses have rated for a long time LinkedIn Jobs as the #1 spot, delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. It's something I've used in my career a lot. It's helped me get forward. And it's, again, you're going to tap the largest professional network in the world. There's no reason not to use it, especially when we're giving you a free platform to do it on Locked On. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And we're going to get right back into this, guys. We have round 6 coming up. Mike, you're on the clock. Who do you got for round 6?
All right, to finish getting every pretty much main geographical region, I'm going to go with Penn State then to get that kind of Northeast, Midwest team. And I feel like I've got pretty much every major region of the country kind of settled now, at least.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Let me see. All right, I'm going to circle back. I'm going to go back into Texas. Again, this has become a strategy of mine. It's a bit of a money play, but I'm going to get Texas A&M. Listen, if I have a school that can land going into the NLI era or NLI era, sorry,
top 5 recruiting class.
Yeah, if I can land top recruiting classes because of Texas oil money, I feel like with A&M and Texas, I basically locked it up the state of Texas. So give me TAMU. I feel pretty good about it. Justin, where are you at?
I'm gonna grab UCLA.
Okay.
Get that UCLA share.
Getting
Mm-hmm.
the LA market, as well as a team that has historically been a good program. A bit down now, is a high level basketball team still. So still pulling that in. All right, where to jump to next here? It starts getting hard at this point.
Yeah, I like UCLA though for the Rose Bowl though too.
Yeah,
it's a nice stadium to have for teams.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go ahead and let's see here.
It's getting tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a team that I hope neither of you two pick.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say North Carolina.
Going all basketball. I like it.
I like the trajectory of the football program too. It is coming up. It's kind of grabbing that East Coast TV market again. I have South Carolina. Now I'm grabbing North.
Yeah, and you're also building a legit basketball side to this that, quite frankly, Mike and I really haven't been able to do yet, or haven't tried to do. And UNC and UCLA, you're getting the two coasts, and you're getting probably the two most iconic basketball, certainly UNC with Air Jordan, like brands in college. So I actually like that play a lot. You can build yourself kind of an asset there. So listen, I'm going to do it. I was curious before the show. I didn't want to say it. Who's going to be the homer? Give me Wisconsin.
All right.
Like, listen.
I was wondering when we were going to get to him because we were getting into that kind of range right now.
I feel like when we start seeing North Carolina off the board, no shot across the bow to the Tar Heels, when we've seen some of these other UCLA off the board. Listen, Matt, it's not the biggest market, but I am going to take Milwaukee with me now. So I am going to get that market. But Wisconsin's one of the from a revenue standpoint.
We both know Marquette owns the Milwaukee.
Right. I may take them later and just punt on football, but like I'm getting the most stable football basketball program probably in the country. Athletic department makes a ton of money, and it gives me something to cheer for. Right now, I have a reason to love my conference. So lock it up on Wisconsin. Let's go.
Hey, you got the Minneapolis market now too, so
It's true. I love it. Where you going, Mike?
all right, I'm gonna go Tennessee. They got a good mix of basketball and football with another little central team kind of located, growing state. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got another pick coming, man. Who's that
Yeah.
second?
This is where
Take your time.
it's
Yeah, I know.
definitely getting harder here now.
Yeah.
But I think after that, though, I'm going to give myself one more West Coast team. I'm going to go Washington.
Oh,
Get you
man.
Seattle market.
Yeah,
I was
Seattle,
there.
history of basketball.
They were on my short list for this next round. So,
Where do you feel? So let's actually finish this round 8. Then I want to do a quick recap, see where you guys feel your conferences is at. Yeah, this gets a little tricky. I do want to get into the Southeast. That's not an area I've done a very good job of. So I'm going to take Auburn. It's not Alabama, but it's still, I'm going to get a really good localized fan base, good football pedigree. Listen, I'm not probably taking that for the academics, but I do need some football muscle in this conference. So give me Auburn, War Eagle. Let's go. Oh, Justin's thinking now.
I am going to go with Miami.
I like that pick.
That's a good pick.
I like Cristobal. I think he's going to be a guy who I actually think they're going to be good. I think they will start to challenge Clemson with a head coach that actually has the ability to kind of control the talent that they have. Because I think we'd all agree they have really underplayed their talent level. Underplayed their talent level.
Oh,
and he is a guy who's very big on building in the trenches. And they also have an underrated basketball team. They've traditionally been solid in the tournament. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab Michigan State.
State.
More basketball.
That's a good pick. I like that pick.
And a football team that is fairly in line with Wisconsin, over the last decade.
So again, just looking at your roster you're building out there in conference, Justin, the basketball is going to be really good. Like there's great basketball brands in that conference. Where are you at now? So let's recap it quickly. I want to just everyone listening, especially on the pod who can't see our draft board.
Well, let's get you and Mike one more pick here.
Yeah, we'll get through round 9. So Mike, just make your first pick in round 9. So
you're next.
You need to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying when you get to your point, let's just make your first one.
Gotcha.
I am going to. You know what? I want to make a market play here again. That's really where I built my conference on, getting big TV markets, revenue shares. I think money's going to help all of my programs who may not be quite as strong lift up. Give me Arizona State and give me Phoenix.
Okay.
I wasn't originally going to go there. I think that's too high to take Arizona State. So I should almost say I'm drafting the Phoenix market in the 9th round. But to do that, I need Arizona State to get there. So give me ASU.
I like that. That's a good pick. So yeah, quickly then I'll go. Since they're the last blue blood left, I'm actually going to take Nebraska.
Got it. It's a good pick too.
Yeah, I thought about the possibilities earlier, and I was like, that's too early for them right now. We're getting into that territory. Yeah.
And I get them with Oklahoma for the rivalry.
Yeah.
Oh, great point. Yeah, that's awesome.
We've destroyed rivalries across the board.
Absolutely.
I tried to save some, but there is not much.
Listen, college football has done that to itself. So let's do a quick recap for those who are listening on the pod who can't see the draft board that's up. So Mike just finished. We just finished the 9th round, or the 8th round. I'm sorry. So Mike went USC, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, Penn State, Tennessee, Washington, Nebraska. Where do you love what you've done, Mike? What don't you really like about your conference so far?
Well, I got coast to coast. I got 2 West Coast, 2 solid Southeast. I got some plains now with Nebraska and Oklahoma. I'm very sad you took the 2 premier Texas teams. I was really hoping to grab some anchor in Texas. And then also I'd like a little more Midwest representation, but otherwise I'm pretty happy. Okay.
And I went Texas, Notre Dame, LSU, Michigan, Texas A&M, Wisconsin, Auburn, Arizona State. Obviously, I'm thrilled I got Wisconsin. That's a no-brainer. But I locked up Texas, and then I got what I consider in Notre Dame and LSU, just 2 complete blue bloods. So I don't love the fact that I have a terrible basketball conference at this point, and I would say
really do.
I would say 7 or 8
Michigan
of
is
my
your best team right now.
Yeah, listen,
Well,
it's a
Wisconsin.
brutal Wisconsin, but yeah, it's a brutal basketball conference, and quite frankly, a lot of my conference is built on TV revenue as well, and maybe not football performance, at least of late.
So you're what everyone hates about the current status of the
you're welcome.
sports.
But I'm going to have the richest TV deal. So listen,
I don't know about that.
At the end of the day, we'll see how it shakes out. And then Justin led it off. His first pick was Bama. He went OSU, Clemson, Oregon, UCLA, North Carolina, Miami, Florida, Michigan State. Great basketball conference so far. Where are you a little light, Justin?
I didn't necessarily chase after getting key demographics in the TV deals, which has probably stung me a little bit. You could make the argument that my last few picks haven't really been on prestige. So it's a little light in teams that we'd look at as historically being great teams. But I'm okay with that. You can't sit on history forever. And I think we'd agree that a lot of the teams that have historically been great have their flaws, and they're probably not going to continue to be great forever. Once that, I guess you'd say the aura of them being great kind of wears down.
Sure. I think we're going to finish up one more segment. We're going to finish our draft up. I think we'll go up to 12 teams, and then if you're listening on the show, if you're watching, leave a comment. Let us know which conference do you think is best, which conference has done the best in building that kind of dream athletic conference, and what are the biggest reaches? What were the best picks? Let us know. I'll be really excited to see the feedback and how ridiculous you think all of us are. So really looking forward to that. Coming up, we'll do one more segment, finish off our draft on Locked On Badgers. First, today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline remains your number one source for all of your sports betting needs and information. Not just online sports betting, but online Vegas games, blackjack, roulette. It's all on BetOnline. It's also a great place to get your latest sports news or sports newsletters, coaching moves. Everything is there. The website's incredibly easy to use, and it's a great spot for futures. We've talked about it all the time. Justin and I have talked about Wisconsin over under 8.5. Where are you at on that? We're all homers, at least. I haven't asked Mike, actually, so we'll see where he's at. But it's a great place if you have a great read on basketball, football, baseball, pennant races coming up. Do it responsibly, but you can really test your sports knowledge and have a lot of fun with it. Head to the website today. Use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. And I want to thank everyone again. I haven't really even done it yet, but thank you for making Locked On Badgers one of your first listens. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Again, let us know which conference you like the best. Let us know where our biggest reaches are. I'm sure people are already typing in Arizona State, but listen, it's for Phoenix. It's for Phoenix. It's a giant TV market.
Yeah, you're playing the college baseball game.
Yep.
Yes, it is a giant TV market. Okay, so let's continue on with this. Mike, you are up. It is round 9 for you. Where are you going?
Oh yeah, we're at some. Definitely the pickings are interesting here at this point, but I think honestly I am going 100% pure fun with this pick. I'm just going to do it before someone else grabs them because I want them. I want Hawaii.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Who doesn't want a conference that you can travel to Hawaii?
Yeah, you get a lot. Listen, it's going to be expensive. There's a lot of logistics there with the Olympic sports. But hey, I'm going to go Florida State. I think you guys nailed the order for the Florida teams with Florida, Miami, but I want some type of skin in the game in Florida. Florida State is a real brand. I'm not having to go to Central Florida or anything like that. So give me FSU. I at least get, Tallahassee, which is not the biggest market, but it's something. So I'm going to get Florida State and feel pretty good about getting them in the 9th round.
I'm just going to make everyone hate your guys' conferences for basketball. And right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab Kentucky and Duke.
Oh, wow.
We do realize, though, football drives conferences.
Right?
Right?
I realize, hey, Kentucky was pretty good last year.
Mm-hmm.
You're building another ACC. I like it.
Yeah.
It is an incredible basketball conference, though. There is like a Kansas you're light on, but aside from that, you basically grabbed everybody. All right, so Justin goes Kentucky, Duke to pair it up with Michigan State, North Carolina, UCLA. Just an incredible basketball conference he's building. Potentially a little light on the football side, which might come back.
It's top heavy. I need to make sure my teams get into the playoff.
Fair. Go ahead, and I'm going to lock up Iowa.
Oh,
it's obviously not a big market, but that's a super stable football program. I have a ton of I have a ton of belief in the fact that they're just going to continue to be stable. I need some teams in my conference I can count on to get 7, 8, 9 wins. So I'm going to take Iowa. I get another rivalry with Wisconsin, or a rivalry with Wisconsin, which I like. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Hawkeyes.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking too. So, okay, so we're on pick 10, so I'll have 3 more picks here. I'm gonna go with Arkansas, and then for something in the Northeast, I'm gonna go with West Virginia.
Just out of curiosity, why West Virginia and not maybe Virginia or Virginia Tech?
Personally, I love the West Virginia brand. Like, it's probably being a Wisconsin homer. They just are very familiar to me. They kind of seem like that. They take low-rated players, turn them into NFL players. That's kind of like their lunch pail mentality. I just feel like their fans are way more passionate. Virginia, the fans don't care. They're pure basketball academics. They're not in for the football. Virginia Tech, I could totally see the pick, but I don't know. I just love a school that's willing to burn couches out in their field.
Right. And their mascot looks like he actually has a loaded muzzle. Like
Exactly.
a loaded muzzle, right? Like that gun is loaded. I'm fully convinced of it at West Virginia. I'm gonna say, let's see. This is getting interesting because these last picks, right? That's really where you build out your roster. This is where the money's made. Everyone can pick Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas, right? This is where you really build the strength of your conference. It's these last couple picks. So let me see here. I again am going to go market. I'm going to take BYU. BYU, again, a very solid program, but BYU gets me Salt Lake, which is the 30th biggest market in the country. Another program that I feel like in a real conference. Here's the thing. If BYU was in a real conference with real conference money, they would be better. They've won a national title. They're always pretty consistent. They beat Wisconsin and Madison. We all remember that schnabel. So I'm going to take BYU, roll with the Cougs. Justin, where are you at?
All right. We talked about him earlier in the podcast, and it's just because I love Lance Leipold. I'm taking Kansas. And now I've officially grabbed the blue bloods of college basketball.
You will own March Madness. It's over.
That's a beastly basketball.
I'm gonna have like all 4 number ones, and they're all gonna have like 4 or 5 losses.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible basketball conference. I don't know where Kansas is helping you in the negotiating.
Oh, they're not helping me in anything other than the fact I love their coach, and I look forward to seeing that school get it turned around.
All right, go Whitewater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There are a lot of coaches currently coaching in Division I that would not have put up the record that he put up at Whitewater.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now he's not going to be there forever, Justin, and then you're going to have to figure out what to do with Kansas football.
I figure I've got
7,
8 more years with him.
Okay, that's fair.
And it's possible he'll find somebody young on his staff that I'm hoping continues his style. Would be the ideal. I don't know if he's got any young guys. I have no clue about the rest of the coaching staff other than him and Borland, but I definitely trust in those 2 coaches to get them respectable.
So we each have 1 more pick. So this is an interesting one.
Okay.
We each have so
I have 1 more here.
Yep, that'll fill out our 12-team conference.
Well, now just to officially, well, this is 12. Okay, you're right. Yeah, our names are line 1. All right. Here.
This is a big one for you.
I'm going to go. Man, the football is going to be questionable in my conference. You know what? There's not a lot that I love about what's left on the board in football to begin with, so I'm just going to grab Arizona.
Those Wildcats gets the Tucson market.
Decent, yeah. Get the market.
Get
another basketball school.
Justin, you might as well just have your few football schools drop football, right? In transition, could you pick Gonzaga?
Hey, given the amount of money I'm going to pull in from matchups out of the TV deal for basketball and football.
So you said it when this draft started. You're like, I'm going to be pretty top heavy. I didn't realize you're going to be this top heavy in football. Like Ohio State, Bama, and Clemson are never going to lose a conference game.
Here's the deal. There are lottery ticket teams that are on my list.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, Oregon, and Miami are lottery ticket teams. They are teams that very well could have next 10 year be better than the last 10 years. Now, of those, you'd probably look at Oregon and say that they're the one that's most likely to underachieve. I think Miami and UCLA are likely to be much better this next 10 years than they were the last. So
I would agree with you on Miami. I think that's likely.
I think UCLA is a coach away. And with the money that they're going to start getting from the Big Ten deal, they're going to have a lot more to start building up that program again.
I think that's always tough, though, being in the shadow of a much better program, right? UCLA.
It is. They financially aren't in great shape,
right?
So this is going to help them a lot in terms of revenue that they badly needed for the football team.
All right, let me see here. I'm gonna go. There's two schools I'm between, and I really like both of them in where I'm at. I hesitate to say both of them because I don't want Mike to steal the other one.
It's going to be Toledo, right?
It is Toledo and Akron.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you got me.
That Ohio market.
Right. Let me just bite the bullet. I'm going to go Virginia Tech. I talked to Mike about it earlier. Virginia Tech actually is the most popular team along with Maryland in the DC market. So the DC market, again, is a giant one. It's ninth in the country. Number one is New York, by the way, if anyone is wondering, and nobody took a New York team. Rutgers did not go in this draft.
Wow.
But give me Virginia Tech.
If I was the commissioner of the Big Ten, I'd be kicking him out of the Big Ten.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when you look at TV markets, you understand why Rutgers is in the Big Ten. But give me Vatech.
I have a hard time believing there's a lot of people in that market that are sitting there like, you know what? I want to sit down and watch Rutgers football.
Yep. In my mind, that market is owned by Penn State and Michigan, with a little bit of Ohio State, Notre Dame. So when you took Michigan, that crushed me.
So here's the numbers, though. I got them for the top 3 popular teams in New York per percentages. There's a study, we can look this up. It's Rutgers, followed by Notre Dame, followed by Penn State. Now, Rutgers is not a large share of that, right? Like, when I say most popular team, New York looks like a pie chart with a lot of little slices, which makes sense, right?
But Rutgers 0.7% of them.
Rutgers does come out on top of that in the poll I looked at, followed by Notre Dame, followed by Penn State. So for what it's worth, Rutgers slightly does get you into New York, but not enough to make it into our super conferences. So I'm going to wrap mine up with Vatech. I feel great about Conference Herrings. I think it's pretty clearly the best mix of TV markets and football at upside among the 3 that we've done, but we'll let everyone else talk about that and figure it out. Mike, who's Mr. Irrelevant? Where are you finishing up?
Right now, you actually got me thinking. I somewhat regretting West Virginia, but I'm going to hold strong with them now. So I'm going to say for my last pick, I am going to go with a sleeper here in that Texas market. I want UTSA, the lone Texas team in a large city.
That's fair.
They had a great season this year. They're a large public school that's constantly growing. I think they have the most potential in Texas to probably grow. I could even see them going past Baylor and TCU.
Dave Aranda scoffing at you.
Yeah, Dave Aranda. Texas Tech fans are ripping up. Reggie Pearson's dad is no. It's interesting. So, yeah, if for everyone who watched the show who did enjoy this type of thing, let us know. Obviously, which conference you like the most, our biggest reaches. I'm sure we all had some for sure. Mm-hmm. Just a fun show. There's going to be a bunch of football content coming up. Really appreciate Justin and Mike jumping on. We're going to continue to have Mike. This is his first time on the show. He's awesome. He's been a supporter of the show, which I really appreciate. He's been on the Discord, which if you haven't joined, like, we're trying to get more, just build the Badger community on the Discord. So I really appreciate both you guys jumping on. This is the conference draft show. We're going to put it up and let us know how we did. And aside from that, everybody on Wisconsin, and we'll talk later.